them. Anything I wanted, I would get it because I was the youngest person in my family. So that was my lifestyle when I was growing up. My mother was always there, my dad was always there, and I was always following them around. So following from primary school, and then when I was going to go into high school, my parents asked me, which high school do you want to go to? And I was living in Toorak in the west. So I told them I want to go to Natambua High School so I can travel from home and go to school because you guys are at home. But then my dad said, no, that won't happen. You need to go to Maris Brothers High School. And then in my mind, I know Maris Brothers is in Suba and I'm in Toorak. That means I won't be able to be with my parents. Then in my head, I'm thinking, oh, my auntie lives in Lami. So I'll probably live with my auntie, and I've got my cousins there who are in the same year as me, and then we'll go to school every day. So I was feeling secure and hopeful that that was going to happen. And then my dad and mom decided that I should attend boarding school in Maris. When I was thinking of boarding school, I said, what is boarding school? And then my dad was explaining to me that he also went through boarding school in Maris. And he said, you need to wash your own clothes. You need to iron your uniform. You need to wake up early in the morning. Waking up early in the morning for me when I was small, that was my devil for me. It's really hard for me to wake up early in the morning when I was small. My mom was always there to wake me up. And now I'm thinking, now I should get up early in the morning in boarding school. My head was fighting with my desires because I just wanted to go to a school next to home. But now my parents wanted me to go outside of my home. And to my mom and my dad. And then when it came to the time for me to go to boarding school, during the first few weeks, I was crying every night. I was always thinking about my mom and my dad. And I couldn't cry out loud because it's an all-boys boarding school. And they look at you, if you're feeling weak, they're going to treat you like you're weak. So I had the pillows over my face at night, and I was crying. And then I couldn't stop my tears because I've never left home for so long. And my mom was always calling, and I was always crying over the phone to my mom. I said, Mom, take me out of here. I want to come back home. Because I'm so attached to my mom and my dad. I don't want to be in boarding school. Every morning I would wake up and then do duties around the hostel. We would go to the farm. We would do prayers in the morning. It was a different lifestyle for me because I was always used to things being done for me. Now I have to do it on my own. And the uniform in Maris, it's white. So every day I had to wash my uniform, put it in Genola. And it's really hard to maintain the uniform cleanliness in Maris because the teachers were going to examine you before you go to school. So I had to do that every afternoon. Every afternoon I come home, come to the boarding school, I had to soak my uniform. And then I had to cut up the potatoes, everything that was required of me, I had to do it. And that took me out of my comfort zone. And little by little, I started being independent. I started not missing my parents. I started not missing my family too much because I started seeing why they wanted me to go to boarding school. I started handling my personal things quite well. I started knowing when to do things, and that sort of changed my perspective towards life. I started being independent. And from that day onwards, I started seeing that it was God that was telling my parents to send me off to boarding school because when I was in high school, I saw some of my friends, they were always feeling a bit weak. They were always relying on their parents to do things for them. And when I was in boarding school, a lot of bad things I learned from boarding school and good things too. And I just sort of choose which one I wanted to do. Because we're all boys in boarding school, so everything happens there. And I was so thankful to the Lord that He brought me up from that environment and for my parents' life for letting me go because it was so hard for them to let me go. And that had molded me to be the person that I am today. Yeah. From where I'm standing right now, most of the time, my family, they don't know about my life. They don't know what's happening in my life because I've got to the point where my independence is just between me and God. Anything that I needed, anything that I was crying out for, it was all that I was asking from God. I didn't ask my parents. When I was in